When you fill up at the pump, you expect that the gas pouring into your car is good quality. But in Ohio, there's really no way of knowing that.
Ohio is one of a few states in the country that does not test the quality of fuel at gas stations. Duane Pullman investigates the price we may be paying for bad gas.
In Ohio, filling up is an act of faith. That's because Ohio is one of just 3 states,
Alaska, Nebraska, and good state of Ohio,
that does not check the quality of the gasoline at its stations.
if there's bad fuel floating around, where's it likely it's going to end up? It's going to end up in Ohio.
And because there are no checks, there's no way to know if the gas you pumped is bad until it's too late.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like it at all.
Darlene Howell, who lives in Liberty Township, doesn't like it because bad gas cost her a lot of money.
And out how much?
Almost $1,500.
Darlene's daughter was driving her car on February 21st when she filled up at this Madison Township station. The culprit? A loose cap on the underground tank allowed water to come in. The manager of the store tells me he doesn't know how it happened, and that loose cap, he says, has now been fixed. Darlene's mechanic sent her this picture of what was supposed to be just gas in her tank.
It would look like a little bit here at the top, the rest of it was all water.
Darlene's car wasn't the only vehicle that got the bad gas.
It ain't even a half a mile down from where we are to the Madison Food Mart, and my truck starts spitting and sputtering.
Even a post office vehicle stopped running after filling up on that gas full of water.
We actually had five consumers reach out to us that we are aware of in that instance.
Butler County Auditor Roger Reynolds and many others say it happens way too much.
We are getting calls from consumers who at sometimes they're not even able to get out of the parking lot of the gas station because the fuel quality is so poor.
And the problem is nothing new. In 1999, the Ohio Department of Agriculture surveyed 135 gas stations across the state, finding 21% of its samples did not meet minimum quality standards. The Hamilton County Auditor says 20 to 25% of Ohio's regular gas doesn't pass quality testing. Tom Camphouse, an inspector with the Butler County Auditor's Office,
there's no leaks inside the pump,
is required to visit every gas station.
It gets tested by the state of Ohio every 2 years.
And check every pump.
In Ohio, you're allowed plus or minus 6 cubic inches on 5 gallons.
To see if it's dispensing a true gallon.
It's good.
But Camphouse is not allowed to check for bad gas.
The law doesn't give me permission to do that.
He does have this tool called a bacon bomb.
So I'm just going to drop it down.
That can quickly spot a problem.
This is searching for, pretty much bad gas.
But Camphouse, again, is not allowed to use it.
You know, it's tough because, I know that any car that pulls up here is going to spend their hard-earned money filling their tank up, and there's a good chance that they'll get water inside the tank. There's nothing I can do about it.
His boss is leading a charge to change that.
Butler County is pushing as hard as we can to get this legislation changed. And I'm able to do this quality check at no extra cost to the taxpayer. Just give us the authority to do it.
But bills to allow counties to check the quality of gas have repeatedly failed at the State House in the past.
So the gas and oil industry itself.
That's correct.
Lobbying against this.
Right.
State Representative George Lang, a Republican from Westchester, says he's ready to try again. He's working on a bipartisan bill to authorize but not force counties to check the fuel for quality.
We've got some proposed legislation that would make it permissive for the county auditors to regulate this, to check gas for quality. And it makes sense for them to do it.
Until that happens,
I don't know, and I can't test it myself.
a question will linger for drivers.
Well, I take a 50-50 chance.
About what's really flowing when you fill up.
Now I'm thinking, man, where is good gas?
I reached out to the association that represents the gas stations, the Ohio Petroleum Marketers and Convenience Store Owners. The president and CEO tells me the group remains opposed to quality testing in Ohio because she says the industry has specially trained inspectors who already test the fuel, and that government testing would simply duplicate that. Representative Lang and many county auditors disagree, saying a fuel quality testing program in Ohio is long overdue. I'm Duane Pullman, Local 12 News.
You can read the full statement from the OPMCA about fuel testing inside this story at local12.com.
This old home in Cincinnati's North Side is at the center of a case involving deception.
You wouldn't think it was going to happen to you.
And theft.
I never imagined that someone could just forge a deed and take your home from you.
Which forced a family to break into their own house.
There we go.
And police officers to draw their weapons and go inside.
This ain't police. If you're in here, please call out.
In late January, two people, Stephanie Kinley and Jeremy Davis, moved into this old home on Hamilton Avenue that belonged to the Runk family.
There was just stuff everywhere.
Like they owned the place.
Yeah.
Kinley and Davis filed this deed on January 25th at the Hamilton County Auditor's Office, which declared they were the new owners. But Reno Runk, who has owned this home with his wife since 1990, never sold it.
In your wildest dreams, could you have thought this would have happened?
Not to me.
To make matters worse, Reno just remodeled that old home, sparing no expense.
Well over $150,000.
His daughter, Carrie, a realtor, discovered on February 1st that something was very wrong. Locks on the doors had been changed.
I knew there had to have been a problem, like something illegal had happened.
Carrie immediately checked the county auditor's website.
And that's when I about died.
She found the deed was done.
I knew it wasn't my parents' signature. I thought my parents just lost their house. And I felt helpless.
Carrie's sister Kim felt helpless too.
And I felt violated because it felt like we kept getting re-victimized because nobody would help us.
Nearby, they watched their old house on Hamilton, taking pictures and videos.
Oh, you staked it out?
Yes, I staked it out.
Wow.
Showing people they did not know wandering in and out of their home.
Then they took this house
and the family quickly discovered they were far from alone.
on paper they own that house right there and that house right there.
According to the prosecutor, Kinley and Davis filed other fraudulent deeds right across the street. Stolen.
Yeah.
In all, the couple listed themselves as the new owners of 4 other properties on Hamilton Avenue. They virtually owned the street.
That's what they were after.
Reno fought back, hiring an attorney.
Can I ask what your bill is?
The one I got right now is a little over $11,000.
It was money well spent. On February 5th, a judge issued this temporary restraining order to remove Kinley and Davis from the house. Carrie captured this video of police clearing the home. Kinley and Davis weren't there, but when Carrie and Kim got inside, they found the couple's belongings everywhere, from food in the fridge to toothbrushes in the bathroom. Carrie and Kim changed those locks and posted that protection order in the window.
We taped it to the window so they would see it.
But that night, the couple found their way back inside. Police were called again. This time, officers wrote them up.
It was a nightmare.
And it was far from over. According to police, the couple forced their way in again the following weekend.
They broke in the door on a Saturday by chiseling the locks out.
Kinley was charged with trespass. 2 days later, she and Davis were arrested at the auditor's office, trying to file more deeds.
For the record, State of Ohio versus Jeremy Davis.
Kinley and Davis, who each faced 18 charges, agreed to a deal, pleading guilty to 5 counts of theft. They hoped that would keep them out of prison. It didn't.
You can reject anything you want.
Kinley was sentenced to 18 months behind bars. Davis was sentenced to 2 years.
One will be 12 months.
Listen to me, please, sir.
I think they're nuts, okay? They're just crazy. But if they slip through the cracks, it happens.
Whatever they are, both Kinley and Davis took a deal, pleading guilty to theft. Most of the other charges were dropped.
So if it can happen to you,
It didn't happen to anybody.
The fact that it did happen reveals a huge problem with how we protect the most valuable thing most of us own. Now, none of this would have happened without some help. And tomorrow, I'll introduce you to a woman who sealed the deal, allowing that couple to steal a home. And I'll show you why that may make your home more vulnerable too. My investigation, Stolen Homes, continues tomorrow night on Local 12 News, live at 6. I'm Duane Pullman. I'll see you then.
Tonight, Local 12's Duane Pullman investigates how a simple seal was the key to these crimes that terrorized a local family for weeks.
It was a nightmare.
The nightmare for the Runk family was the theft of their home.
It's crazy.
A theft involving this couple. A bizarre claim.
He has identified himself as a sovereign citizen.
A break-in.
There we go.
Police being called in.
Get your hands up or we sell.
And most importantly, the prosecutor says it involved this, a fraudulent deed.
We felt violated.
In late January, Stephanie Kinley and Jeremy Davis moved into this home on Hamilton Avenue, owned by Reno Runk and his wife.
You wouldn't think it was going to happen to you.
But it did. Both Kinley and Davis have been convicted of theft for stealing homes and properties on Hamilton Avenue. But before they were arrested, the pair simply took over the Runk family home.
There was just stuff everywhere.
like they owned the place,
Yeah.
which on paper they did.
Yeah.
On January 25th, Kinley and Davis filed this deed at the Hamilton County Auditor's Office, allowing them to claim the home as their own. But the signatures on that deed are not real. Reno Runk and his wife never signed.
I never imagined that someone could just forge a deed and take your home from you.
So why did the Hamilton County Auditor and Recorder's offices allow this deed to be filed? It turns out anyone can forge signatures and steal a home if a notary public signs and seals the document. Is it really that easy?
It's pretty easy.
The deed that led to the theft of the Runk family home has a seal and signature from this woman. Are you Julie? She is Julie Kathleen Taylor, the same one who notarized the deed that led to the theft of the Runk home. Taylor runs 24/7 Mobile Notary LLC, which means she meets people across the tri-state who need documents notarized, which is what she says happened when she met Kinley and Davis.
I met these people in a parking lot.
Taylor admits she notarized this deed, even though she did not witness Reno Runk or his wife sign in front of her.
You did violate a golden rule, which is you're supposed to watch them sign it.
Yep.
Taylor tells me she notarized even though she knew she should not, because Kinley and Davis, she says, convinced her to do it.
So in other words, you said I'm not supposed to put a notary
Yes.
without them being here.
Right.
And Taylor says she notarized that deed anyway. Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters says the auditor's office had no choice but to accept it. Is it because the auditor's office, which is your first line of defense, has to take a document that is notarized?
Yes,
And they can't question?
correct.
While Taylor notarized the deed that led to the Runk family home being transferred, other notaries pressed their seals for other deeds.
On paper, they own that house right there and that house right there.
Prosecutors say Kinley and Davis filed other fraudulent deeds on homes, an apartment building, even a church on the same block. Stolen.
Yeah.
I have considered sentencing factors under 29.
On Wednesday, the couple faced a judge who sent them to prison for 5 counts of theft.
You can reject anything you want.
Kinley was sentenced to 18 months behind bars. Davis was sentenced to 2 years.
One will be 12 months.
Listen to me, please, sir.
While the case is now closed, it does expose a weakness in a system that allows couples like this to steal if they can get that seal. And it can be just like that that your home is gone.
It's true. And I would very much support a way to block it, but it's tough right now. It's tough.
But reforming the system doesn't appear to be coming anytime soon. That notary, Julie Kathleen Taylor, has not been charged with any crime. And the Ohio Secretary of State's office confirms it just renewed her commission. Taylor tells me she intends to continue getting paid to notarize documents. Detectives say they're continuing to investigate. And so am I. I'm Duane Pullman, Local 12 News.